Music provokes emotion. Lyrics occupy thoughts. And just the right song can be the ultimate torture weapon. You're listening to AK Project Radio.
Those are some top-notch editing skills. Well, it was a school project that I had to do a year ago. But, if you like the sound of that, let me introduce myself. My name is Abigail Krem. I have written, edited, and produced my own podcast episodes, and I have written, edited, produced, and hosted my own show weekly on internet radio. Today I'd like to explain to you why I would be a good person to hire on the radio station staff of the WDLW. I'd like to explain a few things: where I learned my skills, what those skills are, and why I would be good for your station specifically. So first, I'd like to talk about where I've learned the skills that I know now for radio.
In 2013, I was fortunate enough to be accepted into the Lincoln Park Performing Arts Charter School for Literary Arts Studies. I spent my final 3 years of high school there, learning to improve my writing and obtaining new skills that I never expected to learn. Every semester we were given a list of classes to choose from, with new ways to use our writing skills. Out of these classes, I always say that I learned the most from writing for radio, playwriting, and intro to journalism.
Writing for radio was more based on learning how to write news articles for the radio, but other things that we learned were how to develop our radio voice, how to use editing software like Audacity, how to do recorded interviews, and especially how to produce a radio show. After learning all of those things, I've been looking for more opportunities to use those skills. Other classes that I took were playwriting. Playwriting, we learned how to write scripts specifically for the stage, but I've still been using that skill in the radio setting, writing scripts that were engaging to listen to. Lastly, the other class I took was Intro to Journalism, and at the time that was meant for the school newspaper, but still, the things that we learned in there were how to write engaging news stories and how to make them capturing for whoever was the audience. And so I try to use that in everything that I do, including radio.
In 2016, I graduated high school and was accepted into Youngstown State University. In my first semester, I signed up for a radio workshop. Right off the bat, we were given our own radio shows on the college radio station, Rookery Radio, and we were expected to maintain these shows. Since being given this weekly time slot, I've been hosting my show, YSU Involved, every Wednesday.
Through maintaining my own radio show, I've become much more experienced on speaking on air and how to use broadcasting programs such as SAMS. While I may not be aiming to be a radio talent, it still gave me key experiences on every position in creating a radio show. Next, I'd like to explain to you what skills I have to work in the radio station. First would be journalism. I already said that I had a journalism class. Now that class was to learn how to specifically write for newspapers. Now, I've always preferred to write for the radio because it's more fun to be heard than just to be read. So in saying this, a specific job that I could take would be researching news and writing it for the radio announcers. Another position that would work well for me would be producer. But, of course, I don't expect to get producer coming right out of college. So an equally well-working job would be broadcasting assistant. They still get to put everything together and keep it all organized. Being the manager of my own show, I get to be part of the process of writing it and editing and producing, all of that. So I know what the job entails and I've had experience in it. In Youngstown State, I'm a communication major, which means that I'm sort of trained to know how to work with people in groups and get them to work together and keep things organized and well-flowing. So this is sort of a job that I've also been kind of trained for. Finally, I would like to explain why I would be a good pick for WDLW specifically.
Probably the biggest seller on choosing your radio station is the music. I've always been fascinated with 50s and 60s pop culture. A few of my favorite bands being the Beach Boys, the Monkees, and Simon and Garfunkel. I naturally gravitate towards music with a 60s sound. So, given that your station is purely oldies, it comes as an easy choice for me.
Another important point for me is that your station focuses specifically on local news and community involvement. My show, YSU Involved, was about local events and how to get involved in them, hence the name. So, since I take a great interest in what's going on in the community, and so does your station, I feel like WDLW is a good fit for me specifically, and hopefully me a good fit for the station. As you see, I have all the prior experience and interests to make a good addition to the WDLW staff. I hope you've enjoyed my showcase of skills, where I've learned them, what they are, how they fit with your station specifically. So, for whatever position you need me in, I will have you and the news stories covered. Okay, thank you so much.